when this pendulum is swinging, right, we see on the extremist side, the overexerting yourself, too much working out, too much dieting, too much extreme. Emotionally, something's going on. Whether you're eating too much or too little, emotionally, there's still some root things going on that we're not addressing. So from what you've seen with these extremists that are like this with everything, what do you think is at the root of that emotional eating in that extreme way? What do you think they're really after?
I think from an instinctual perspective, human beings, we're communal. We need that social activity. We need other people to be successful. So on the deeper levels, they're seeking love. They're seeking connection, and they want to be a part of a group, and they want to feel accepted. So ultimately they don't feel like they're being accepted, therefore they're not worthy. And they look for things that they can change to make themselves more worthy. And when you look at the world today, a lot of people seek their worthiness through either fitness or through performance or physique. And so this is what we see, is we just see the outward manifestation of how they are getting those needs met. And it's when it becomes extreme to where their mechanism is actually causing way more problems. I've owned 3 gyms, and it was very common for me to say that a lot of these people, sleep is more important than the workout. If you don't get up and you feel refreshed and you have a 5 o'clock workout and you had something mentally, emotionally going on the night before and you went to bed late and you've only got 4 hours of sleep, lots of people will still get up and still go make the workout. Where I would recommend, no, miss the workout, sleep longer, recover. Maybe you can work out a shorter amount of time throughout the day.
I remember you told me that 10 years ago, and I was like, sleep, whatever. I'm, in my 20s, and I'm, or no, that was late 20s at that point. But it's like, oh, I know, I'll be fine, and you can sleep when you're dead. And when I was one of those people in that extremist mindset. And when I actually just started getting sleep, that changed everything for me. You don't have to work out as hard. When I was at my most stressed, I was my unhealthiest. Even though I looked like I was my healthiest, I was not my healthiest. I was probably the unhealthiest. And you were the first one to say, you're not sleeping, skip the workout and just sleep. Because when I don't sleep, then the emotional eating would start, because I was so tired and stressed, right? And it's just this cluster of just stress and more stress, and you get caught in this loop. You're so stressed, so you got to work out, but then you work out too hard and you need sleep, but you don't sleep because you just ate a whole bunch of food, and then you have to get up in the morning and work out again. And sleep was the game changer for me to everything. And so how do we kind of swing the pendulum back to get more balance, to get out of that extremist mindset and get into a healthier mindset? Like, what are some things we can start to do besides just sleeping more?
Well, that's really important. And I'm excited because I've been professing sleep for 35 years, and now the research is strong. And you're now seeing a lot of people that are beginning to see the importance of sleep, particularly in relationship to performance. So the first thing is awareness. So from a normal sleep pattern, you should be able to fall asleep within 15 minutes of going to bed, putting your head to the pillow. And then you need to be able to sleep throughout the entire night. There's lots of research with regard to hours, men between 7 and 8 and women between 8 and 9 hours of sleep. I don't really use that. If you're sleeping through the night, you wake up and you feel refreshed, that's typically a good night's sleep. My mother, who's 91, has never slept more than 5.5 hours a night, and she's in great health. I personally need closer to 9 hours of sleep. Mm-hmm. So everybody's a little bit different. But it's actually, so if you wake up in the middle of the night, now classically, if you're having a stress response that's hampering your body's ability to recover, you'll wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I literally had 3 patients yesterday with chronic illnesses. I asked, do you sleep well? Yes. And I see the hesitation. I go, do you wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? And they go, yeah. How did you know that? And I begin to explain that the stress response of what is going on. Or people will say, no, I wake up to go to the bathroom, and then I go back to sleep. I go, no. You wake up and then go, oh, I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Unless you're a male and you got prostate issues, or you have some pathological bladder issue like interstitial cystitis, we should be able to sleep through the night comfortably and wake up and feel refreshed. So the first thing relates to awareness. And then as you talk about, you wake up, you don't get enough sleep, you eat a lot. That's because it creates a hormonal shift. Now imagine your body and you're in a caveman issue, because our body doesn't understand that we have grocery stores and our refrigerators full of food. We wake up, and because we're not sleeping well, our body thinks that that there's an issue of our survival. So we immediately need more fuel. So we start eating. There's a hormonal balance with regard to ghrelin and leptin that begins to be altered. And they said people who are sleep deprived, and we as a nation are getting at least an hour and a half to 2 hours less sleep than our grandparents did. Mm-hmm. It creates this hormonal cascade that makes us hungry and just creates more and more issues, creates unstable blood sugar, creates fatigue, particularly at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which we feed with more caffeine. And then we stay up later because our mind is racing, and it just goes over and over again.
One of the gentlemen that I interviewed, Barton Scott, has one of the most amazing magnesium supplements for sleep. I've had the best sleep of my life just by adding that in, because it's a highly absorbable magnesium, and I'm getting such deep REM sleep. I've never felt that refreshed where you wake up and you don't even need coffee. Like that's some refreshing sleep, right? People don't understand we're supposed to have a good night's sleep and wake up and feel refreshed. You know, it's not this brain fog, exhaustion, achy, crappy feeling. You know, it's not supposed to be like that. And I think a lot of people have been trained to think, oh, that's just how it is, you know, and sleep is the number one thing to get you on the right track, whether it's recovery, eating habits, seeing results with weight loss.
Because what's happening is you're getting an increase in your stress hormones, predominantly cortisol. And cortisol actually hampers the body's ability to build muscle. So here you are working out really hard, and you're actually burning more muscle than you're building. And you're actually depositing fat, and not necessarily subcutaneous fat, but also visceral fat, which creates pro-inflammatory issues. So again, it is a cascade, and one of the easiest ways to break it is to prioritize your sleep. And then you wake up also, your body can handle more stress. So that also helps with the recovery, and it also helps take some of that mental emotional stress off of you.
Yeah. And what about with over exercising with cardio? Because again, women, I think especially, it's like cardio, spin class, which again, I'm all about a good spin class, but when you're doing it every day on top of stress and no sleep and restriction, what is that exercise stress actually doing to us?
You know, it's fascinating because it was actually spin class that I began to see the world from a different perspective, because it's obviously a great workout. I sweat and I really enjoy it. I get a lot of benefits from it. But I noticed that about 30% of the regulars, even though they were exercising at very high intensity, they weren't making any differences. They were still, if they were 10 pounds over, they were still overweight. And it all relates to recovery. So if you are not getting enough sleep and you're stressed out throughout the day, your body is secreting these stress hormones all the time. And then all of a sudden you exercise, their body doesn't understand you're in this exercise class and you're choosing the exercise. Your body thinks that you're either running to get food because it's limited, or you're running away from being food. Something is chasing you, not some spin instructor who's motivating you and pushing you to push your cardiovascular system. And so then cortisol's high, which again creates this entire hormonal cascade, and your body actually will deposit more fat and it will actually burn muscle, which is the antithesis of what you're attempting to accomplish.